Morning, my darlings. How are you? It is another day. Don't even know what it's called. Doesn't matter what it's called. It's a day. Welcome to your morning. Welcome to your afternoon. Welcome to whenever you have put aside a moment to watch this. And let's actually stop there and recognize for a minute what it means when you decide to put your time into something, anything. When you put your time into something, that's it. That's your whole life. This is the fundamentals. The choices that we make are, good morning, Julia. I'm so glad you're here. The choices that we make are the fundamentals that create our lives. And so right now, you've chosen to be here. And that's big. And I want you to pause and acknowledge that. And I want you to pause and acknowledge, hi Colette, I'm so glad you're here with us this morning. Acknowledge what got you here, why you're here, what you're seeking, and acknowledge how far you have already come. Okay? If you're watching this now or you're catching the replay, drop a comment, drop an emoji, how far you've come. And how far you want to go. Okay? These two things are not polar opposites. They are two pieces of the same thing. Okay? How far we have to go you can interpret it like, oh, I got a long way to go. Hi, Dana. Good morning. I'm so glad to see these lovely ladies rolling in. Oh, good. 4 p.m. coffee break. Perfect. It's 9 a.m. coffee break. So when we think about yesterday's training one, we were really redefining what fulfillment means and not putting it out there at the end, the destination of something, because the destination of life is death. Some people don't like it when I say that, but let's put it back into some real serious terms. What if fulfillment is every day, a little bit, okay? That fulfillment is the striving and the showing up and the learning what's the next thing to learn and the discomfort of that expansion, and that's what it's about. Conversely, think of everything that got you here, okay? Think of and remember, because this is amazing, we make really big the things we have yet to do, and we diminish the things we have already done. So I want you to hold in your mind and hold in your heart the things that you have already triumphed over, okay? They were big before you did it. And now they're like, oh, whatever, no big deal. One of the stories I wanted to share yesterday was my book publishing story of 2020, like January 2nd. It's like, okay, I've been trying to get books out for years. I am going to publish a book this year if it's the last thing I do. And my goal, it wasn't to be famous, it wasn't to make a lot of money, it was to learn how to publish a book. So I was like, okay, well, I need to write a book. And then I need to do this and I need to do this. And I had to figure out all the steps, and then I had to do all the steps, and then I published a book. And then I published 4 more. And so it's amazing. And now they don't feel like really huge accomplishments. I wish that weren't true. I wish I could tell you that they felt still like amazing things. Actually, I have a couple of them right here. Finally, they arrived in Colombia 4 months later. So holding this is amazing, but it's not, we diminish the things that we've already accomplished. So take a deep breath. Keep this in mind. And today, as we focus on day 2, the sun keeps getting in on this call. Maybe that's glorious. The thing that I want to focus on today is ease. And you know that I love words. So, and my puppy actually is probably going to try to sandbag this call too. Oh dear. I love words. And I want you to think of, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of easy? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think easy? Hi, Karin. Yeah, 4 books, right? So I did something that I didn't think was possible. I did it 4 times, and I'm about to do it again next month because now it's known, it's familiar. It's not the big mountain that I thought it was when I started. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of easy? Do you think it's important? Do you think it's valid? Do you think really big dreams should be easy? You know that I love words. Is there a difference between easy and ease? What does ease evoke in your mind? Because I'm going to share this with you. I used to be completely, and this is a choice. I'm going to draw your attention to what you're choosing for yourself. This is a choice. You can be pro ease, where things are comfortable and they come to you and there's not a lot of struggle and they're soft. Or you can be anti-ease. And to be completely honest with you, I was anti-ease most of my life, to the point that it still comes up. And I also want to be really clear in this space. I have a lot to teach and I have a lot to offer. I have not perfected everything, nor do I want to. And I want to work with people who want to work with somebody who's sometimes still in the thick of it and practicing the tools to get out of it, okay? I am good at this because I've devoted a lot of time and energy to it, and that's how we get good at things, by devoting our time and energy. But there is not one magic pill. However, I was definitely one of my primary obstacles because I was anti-ease. I believed if something was easy, it was unimportant, it couldn't be that valid, couldn't celebrate it. And therefore, my other thought was only important stuff is hard. And the way to be successful is to be struggling and busy and miserable. Sort of the bar was, how miserable can you be? I'm like, oh, I can be pretty miserable. Watch me try. And what I'm going to offer you today, I'm having sort of a long-winded start. What I want to offer you today is the choice. You can choose ease because it does exist. It does exist. Even before this call, I was sort of trying to get myself all stirred up and find conflict and find struggle so I could have a problem to solve. I was like, wait a minute, what am I talking about again? I'm talking about ease. What if it's easy? So if you have the workbook, one of the questions is, can you debunk your beliefs? And look for examples where debunk the belief that more effort equals better result. So look for examples in your own life where sort of the not doing or the not fighting or the not struggling got you the result. And this may be hard in the beginning if we're not used to looking for evidence of ease being an actual strategy that works. It can be really difficult. I can't see any more comments. I don't know if that's just because they're not coming in or if the system's just that way. So I'm just going to go on, and if you pop a comment in, that's great. But let me know now or later. Let me know if some part of you, maybe not the conscious part and the part that wants to believe this, but that some part of you thinks that for your life to be the way you want it to be, there needs to be an element of struggle. That you need to work hard for it. For the most part, I have really almost fully replaced the word work with play. Because my daughter learns a lot. She's 5. She's learning so much all the time. She does not work. She plays. She gets frustrated when she finds the edges of what she can do, but she's playing. And she's learning a lot more than most of the people I know who are working hard at it. So looking for examples that debunk your belief that things should be hard, that things will only come to you when you've quote unquote earned them, that your misery / success is like a quotient. So the things that came up for me when I was doing this was like resistance, struggle, blocking, holding, forcing. This can be work in terms of career. This can be work in terms of relationships. This can be just, even within myself, the relationship I have with myself, forcing, right? Oh, good. Comments are coming in. Hey, hi. Yeah, interesting. Chanel, struggling to let go. Okay, because this is, struggle is struggle. And struggle, the opposite of struggle is ease. The opposite of resistance is letting go. The opposite of forcing is allowing. And I know that these are just words, but they are also energetic approaches. So I really want you to be paying attention to the words that you're using in your mind and in your experience around how things happen and what you deserve and how you get what you deserve. Because we have incredible capacity. We have incredible capacity in creating and structuring our own lives. And the way that we show up in our lives determines how our lives show up for us. And whatever you believe about who you are and how life works and how the world is, you're right. Does that make sense? I'm going to say it again. Whatever you believe about yourself and about the world, you're right. How does that feel? Does that feel okay? Does that feel weird? Yeah, there's a lot of pre-programming. We're told what we're supposed to do. And this is our chance to really look at it and choose whether we accept it or whether we are going to redefine the stories that we've been given. So whatever you believe, you're right. If you believe it's hard, if you believe it's impossible, if you believe things take a long time or they take a lot of effort, or that struggle is noble, you're right. Conversely, now take a deep breath. How does that feel, that that work, struggle, force, push? How does it feel in your body? Not just in your mind, but what does it evoke in your body? Now, what is the idea? What is the feeling of ease? What if the same results or better results came to you with ease? Allowing. And that does not mean dropping out of the game and not showing up and not doing anything, but with ease, okay? With softness. How does that feel in your body? And is there a difference? Is there any space in your body for this concept, for this possibility that the big goals that are out there and the daily fulfillment in between now and accomplishing and changing your life for the better to support you so you can support others? Is there room for ease in that story? I want to share something here that I have not really shared out loud before, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I talk about alignment, and there's a lot of blah, blah, blah about alignment in the world and in social media, and some of it's great, and some of it's hogwash. But when I came to realize that we are always aligned, we are aligned. That's what we are. I teach people how to go from misalignment to misaligned, right? To completely connected. But what I mean when I say that we are always aligned is that, oh, Colombia, someone's selling brooms and mops out on the street, and maybe you can hear it. Maybe you can't hear it, but I can hear it like nobody's business. We are always aligned, okay? Our actions are aligned with our beliefs because our actions determine our beliefs determine our actions. If we believe things are hard, if they don't come to us, that we are unsuccessful, we are right because our actions take those beliefs and make them real. We are aligned with our beliefs. But when folks say, I feel misaligned and it's not working, and they want to be misaligned, what we want to align with and to are our dreams and our possibilities and our future, and not our fears and not our doubts. Okay? And we can do this, surprisingly, not out here in the tangible world. We do this in here. We can realign actually with ease. If we had to try to change the external reality, it's hard. But the ease comes from here. The ease comes from reconnecting and realigning with our beliefs, shifting our attention and our beliefs to what's possible, and beginning to allow. Just allow. So take a deep breath with that. Curious to know what your thoughts are and responses when you get a chance. Two other ideas I have for you today about fulfillment is, again, perceptual, because our perception is so significant in determining our reality. Question: is growth, do you feel like your growth is linear? Is it a straight line? Should you be here because a little bit more time has passed? Should you be working up on the graph? Is it linear and ideally at a 45-degree angle growth rate? Or is growth cyclical, seasonal, changeable? That expression, one step forward, two steps back. For years, I thought that expression was just heartbreaking. And then I moved to Latin America. It turns out one step forward, two steps back is salsa. And so now I think of, okay, moving forward and moving back, and moving forward and moving back, and shake the hips and shimmy and have fun and turn. One step forward, two steps back. And that perceptional shift, just thinking of that living and growing as dance, allowed it to become fun. And because it's fun, there's more ease. And because there's more ease, there's actually more progress. Because there's not so much struggle and resistance and forcing and exhaustion. Because when we approach anything with this perception, yeah, cut in, it's not linear. But we have this story that it is, that it should be, right? The demonic should, okay? Here's our graph. I'm this old. I should be at this point. The whole should is exhausting. If we can look, I made these little drawings. I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to see this, but like This is how I feel like I grow, okay? Cyclical, spiral. Sometimes I'm moving backwards, but that's not a thing. It's not a thing. It is. And if you're like also having a little bit of fun with it, then, like I said yesterday, that's where the fulfillment in the moment comes from. I had fun today. I did something towards my larger goal. I am fulfilled because I am playing, I am having fun, I am playing towards my larger goals. I am playing with being human because, man, oh man, you could choose to make a human existence miserable and tedious and hard, or it can be fun. Okay? And when you think of your fulfillment, whether it's in the day to day or the big goal, is it fun? Does it light you up? Is it delicious? Okay. And the last question that I just want to leave you with, and then I'm going to wrap up. I want you to think about what activities, what thoughts, what approach to things leave you with a surplus of energy and fuel you, and which choices, thoughts, and approaches leave you drained and exhausted. And maybe that sounds like a rhetorical question. And I want you to think about it. I want you to really, really think about it. Because I definitely still, even though I know better, I still will turn to struggle. I will still fall into these patterns where I am working from an energy deficit. And I just, even when I notice it, I'm still caught in this trap of struggle and force and, oh, there must be something noble here because I am miserable. But the more that we can start noticing these patterns, the more that we can untangle the shoulds, these culturally imposed, societally imposed beliefs about how life is supposed to be, the more we can pull out parts of those stories and say, like, no, I don't want to live that story. I want to live a story of fulfillment and ease. And tomorrow we'll get into impact so that I can have an impact on whatever I'm passionate about. So I can have an impact in my own life, on my own health. So I can have an impact in my family, in my community, in the world, because there are things that I care about and I want to give from this well of energy that I have, but I'm choosing to be draining the well, and so I'm actually, bitter or resentful or any of the other traps that we fall into, or exhausted or developing an autoimmune disease because I'm working at things from a place that is unsustainable to myself. So I'm going to share a quote with you as I wrap up, and it's a quote that I love, and it's a quote that I hate because it still stirs a lot of old, just imposed grumblings within me. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. So I want you to think about how slow you're moving. I want you to think about how smooth you're moving. And I want you to think about how much ease, how much room in your life, in your career, let's call it career and not call it work. I'm just going to really remove this word work from the vocabulary until it means something else. How smooth are you in all the areas and all the aspects of your life? Take a couple of deep breaths. If you have the workbook, there's a bunch of questions that we've gone over you can fill out in the workbook. Workbook, right? Not a workbook. It's a handbook, it's a playbook, workbook. Striking that from the vocabulary too. So take a deep breath. as I offered yesterday, if anyone wants to check in, there's a booking link to have a little coffee chat with me to discuss personally if you're having any confusion about any of this stuff, or you are stuck. Stuck is a natural place to be. It's actually a really good place to be. It means you're right on that edge of growing into the next thing. So I'm all for stuck, but we don't want to spend too much time there. And learning how to embody ease and learning how to practice the allowing can take time, and it can take support. So if you're needing to chat for any reason, know that I'm here. I've cleared a couple of slots in my calendar, and this is what I love to do. I love to support fulfillment through ease and impact, going from misaligned to misaligned. And it is a cyclical process. You're like, I feel out of alignment. Oh, I'm doing all the right things. And I feel in alignment. And I stayed in alignment. And now I have changed and have grown. And I need to change the process again. And that, my dears, is it. That's the beauty of it. There is not one end done. And we never have to play with it again. Thank you for joining me. So many of you here tuning in. So glad to be sharing my morning and Colette's afternoon, wherever you are on the planet, whatever time you watch this. Let me know what your main takeaways are. Let me know where you're like, I absolutely disagree, or I want to understand and I don't. I'm here. I will be back tomorrow for the final installment of Demystifying Fulfillment, and I cannot wait to see you and share with you then. Sending love. Talk to you soon.